Hello everyone, this is Demon Eye. I've been quite absent from the last few events on Questland, mainly because I've been working on this and I've only got a finite amount of time. And I've been showing you how the physics and stuff work, but I haven't posted for a while, so I thought I'd show you just what I'm up to. So if we build this and run it in like a demo sort of thing, firstly the title screen is just this black screen with the start button down the bottom. I haven't, that's what a start button looks like, but I haven't actually made any UIs to go with it. I'm kind of halfway through doing that. Most of them sort of pop up in game anyway, so start and save are still a very long way away, but I do have pause, which is good. Now, this zoom and slider and these buttons, they're just part of the display for testing. Now you can see I've shown this to you before with the balls creating a like a mass in the center, but I've actually made some custom graphics for it with Photoshop and some particle systems, and it's a little bit prettier than it used to be. That actually took a little while to sort out. Once I got all the physics down and all the scripts to control the behavior and everything, that is probably close to what the final product will be like. That is the star being created by its own gravity, pulling in all the little balls, which are representative of hydrogen. When it reaches certain densities, which I've sort of called the core temperature, when it gets to certain core temperatures, it changes the hydrogen into other elements, so it makes it smaller or bigger or something along those lines. And then it changes the properties on the hydrogen ball, so you can actually mine those resources based on forging them in the star at certain temperatures of the star, which is a mechanic I'm going to bring in for the player. So taking care of your star and knowing where it is will be very important. Now, it did still explode quite a bit. It does like to explode when it reaches certain sizes, particularly when it starts changing the elements around. And that scatters everything throughout your little solar system. So it'll throw out elements that it's forged. Usually throws out whatever's smallest, which is usually whatever the hydrogen's turned into. So you can go hunting after it. You don't actually have to go directly to the star, but I'm probably going to make that an option too. Now, I've got these buttons here for switching between the game views. This one is just this. It has the slider, so I can zoom in and see what's going on the inside, sort of see it at halfway and zoom all the way out. And if I do zoom all the way out, you should see like a black thing floating around. There it is. It's not one of the balls, it's actually the planet I've been working on. So the planet is very much a player object, and that's going to sit more or less central to the gameplay. The idea is that you create your star, you set your planet up around it to orbit, and you use it to basically change hydrogen into usable materials and siphon energy, and the star's the resource and you defend it. Now, from a multiplayer perspective, I haven't decided what that means. I suppose you could have a raider class who goes around destroying stars, but that's not really here or there at the moment. I'm just trying to get the thing to work. So if I go to this second button, this will show me the sort of over the shoulder view on the planet as it rotates. All these camera behaviors and stuff are a pain in the ass to kind of figure out. They have to be looking at the star, but they have to be attached to the planet, and the planet has to be doing this, and how do you get it to orbit and stay in the same rotation, and then how do you put controls into that let it move around, and how does that affect the physics, because if the planet has a mass, then it affects the physics of the star, and the star will explode if you get too close, and if your mass is too high, and all these kind of things. So there's quite a lot of stuff to work out, but it's getting there. It's getting there, and I don't really have enough time. I mean, I'm trying to do this like 2 hours a day. My fiance is not home, so I'm trying my best. I just don't have time for anything else at the moment. So this planet, I've been making the model for it in Blender, and at the moment it's got these 4 towers. There's actually like a shadow of where all the components can go, which is along all the axes. The idea is that you can mix and match, and I'll add more axes and add more places to put stuff, and hopefully I can get some scripts in that let you manipulate the shape of the blocks so they don't look all the same, and yeah, basically make it as customizable as possible, and try and give the player a chance to invent their own things. Try and get them making things that, because of the gravity system, because of something else, it creates an effect that's not directly coded in. So like the whole premise of this is that by manipulating the environment, you can achieve things that you probably don't have a hard-coded script for, which is quite challenging. But I mean, the star's a really good example of that. You can, hopefully you'll be able to throw hydrogen into it, or manipulate the gravity of it, or do something by flying around and manipulating the mass of everything around you, and it'll result in like a reactive universe. I'm trying to make games that really interact with the player rather than take them down a path. If I go to this third button, this is so far the first player view, which is top down. You can see the little dot in the center of the planet. It represents the player. You can see the shadow of the towers that don't have anything in them. There will be multiple things you can put in those tower spots, and there will be a chance to sacrifice them on a given layer, so all the first blocks on every tower will disappear to make your planet bigger. And by making it bigger, you can have like a surface and an atmosphere, and develop life forms and all kinds of cool stuff. But there will be options for things like shields and weapons and fleets, and hopefully a first-person view that you can walk around your planet and build it up to however you like, and do experiments on your life forms, and build your ship. If you want to build a hangar bay, fly that around your little solar system, warp off to other people's solar systems and mess with them. Just things like that. I think it'd be really cool to do things like make your own life form that's a parasite and drop it on someone else's planet and watch it kill all the stuff there. You know, just as cool as it would be to go out there and get in a dogfight with them, with your little fleet of drones or something, or even if you get to a point where you can warp your entire planet into their solar system and really mess with them, start stealing their resources and all that kind of jazz. But I've got to kind of work out
how all this is going to affect and where it's all going to sit on servers and things like that.
But for the moment, really, really, really pretty star that self-generates, and the beginnings of what will be the player-controlled planet. Hopefully I have a whole lot more
next time I post, but for now, this is what I've managed to achieve, and this is where I'm at. So,
if I've been absent from anything, I apologize.